I am the only one who has the power to decide whether I will be happy or unhappy. This essential and personal choice is entirely in my hands. And you, if you could choose between remaining happy or unhappy, what would your decision be? If you allow external factors, such as people or circumstances, to determine your emotional state, true happiness becomes a distant possibility. I reserve for myself certain inalienable privileges, such as the power to decide my own well-being, to be loving or hateful. These privileges are mine and mine alone. I have not delegated them to anyone. In the vast and enigmatic cosmos, composed of countless stars and planets, there is a small system of 14 planets orbiting a modest star. When you let yourself be consumed by anger, you are, in fact, poisoning your own body. This is not just a philosophical concept, but now science confirms that anger has real harmful effects on physical health. If your mind seems not to follow your instructions, perhaps it's time for deeper reflection. Ask yourself, why is it not obeying? When the circumstances around you are unfavorable, it is natural for you to feel bad. However, human life should not function that way. Ideally, if I am well internally, everything around me would also harmonize. Wouldn't that be the true essence of life? Human consciousness should have the power to shape the situations around us, but in reality, we are often shaped by external circumstances. This is not the right way to live. You have become so accustomed to external influences that you have lost the strength of your own will. Although what happens around us is not always under our control, the responsibility for what happens inside us should be exclusively ours, shouldn't it? True autonomy and fulfillment come from recognizing that despite external forces, the way we respond and deal with our feelings and thoughts is, and should be, a personal responsibility. If you believe that what you are doing is truly meaningful, it is crucial to learn to deal with all kinds of people. Often the most difficult people have the ability to achieve incredible feats despite their complexities. The truth is that if you are only looking for perfect people to work alongside, you will probably find none. Collaboration and success often arise from the ability to work with a variety of individuals, each bringing their own challenges and unique talents. Diversity in teams can not only enrich the creative process, but also lead to impressive results that you might not achieve with a homogeneous team. As human beings, we live in society and need to interact with various people. Everyone faces challenges, at work, in marriage, with children, and so on. These are some of the reasons why we receive negative criticism. But how can we move forward without letting it affect us? Sadhguru answered the questioner from Lucknow in a profound and insightful manner. He explained that the power of faith, values, and basic principles should not be underestimated, as they are fundamental to building a balanced and meaningful life. According to him, faith is an important foundation for facing life's challenges and maintaining direction, while values and principles help guide our actions and decisions, providing a sense of purpose and integrity. Regarding what makes one happy and sad, Sadhguru shared that true happiness comes from being aligned with one's inner self and living in harmony with life as a whole. He emphasized that happiness should not depend on external conditions or circumstances, but on a deep internal connection and a balanced perspective on life. In contrast, sadness usually arises when there is a disconnection between the inner self and external life, or when one is trapped by unmet expectations and desires. Therefore, maintaining a practice of self-awareness and inner alignment is crucial to finding true and lasting happiness. I'll start with your second question. I keep certain privileges for myself that I consider essential, such as the ability to decide whether I will be happy or unhappy, and whether I will adopt a loving or hateful attitude. These privileges are exclusively mine. I have not delegated them to anyone. These are profound and personal choices that shape my life experience. I choose my own happiness or unhappiness based on my perceptions and internal decisions. Now, reflecting on this, I ask you, if you had the opportunity to decide, would you keep your own happiness as a personal asset, or would you allow it to be shaped by external influences? This choice is central to maintaining control over our inner peace and well-being, and it is crucial to consider how you choose to direct your own emotional and mental state. If you allow something or someone to decide for you, the likelihood of achieving true happiness diminishes. Our understanding of existence and the cosmos is only a small fraction of what truly exists. Our knowledge is a tiny point in a vast infinite. When you cling to your knowledge, be it religious or secular, you reduce yourself to that specific point. In yogic culture, on the other hand, we seek to identify with our ignorance because it is limitless and constantly expansive. Recognizing and accepting our ignorance is an enriching perspective as it opens the doors to continuous learning and endless exploration. By embracing this notion, you allow your mind and spirit to expand, exploring new dimensions of knowledge and experience. By acknowledging that we do not know everything, the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the desire to learn become integral parts of our lives. This recognition drives us to explore new ideas and perspectives, enriching our understanding of the world. In a conversation with Iranian-American author Angela Nazarian, Sadhguru addressed the issue of how not to let the people around us affect and irritate us. He emphasized that, to deal with the influence of others without being disturbed, it is crucial to cultivate a deep inner awareness and a sense of balance. Sadhguru suggested that true emotional freedom comes from a deeper understanding of ourselves and our own reactions. When we are centered and aligned with our essence, external provocations have less power over our emotional state. In essence, he highlighted the importance of maintaining inner composure and not allowing external circumstances to disturb our inner peace. The Visionary Women organization is run by a network of dedicated volunteers, and I recognize that each person here contributes their time to causes they consider important. The fact that there are 9 million volunteers involved highlights the importance and impact of volunteer work. By exploring the relationship between volunteering and disposition, and how this can elevate consciousness, you are touching on a very relevant point. What you are describing is how the act of dedicating oneself to volunteering not only helps others, but can also be a path for personal growth and the expansion of consciousness. When we engage in altruistic actions, we are not only contributing to collective well-being, but also developing qualities such as empathy, generosity, and purpose, which are fundamental to becoming greater and more fulfilled individuals. This journey of self-improvement and consciousness elevation is intrinsically linked to the positive impact that volunteering can have, both in our lives and in the lives of those we help. Before diving into the discussion about women, it is essential to address the concept of vision. Desire is something personal and individual, whereas vision is inclusive and encompassing. Imagine if people adopted a vision instead of limiting themselves to personal desires. This would be truly transformative. Desire alone can result in gradual and progressive changes in someone's life. In contrast, a vision has the power to generate profound and encompassing transformation. Having a vision means nurturing a greater desire that goes beyond merely improving one's own life incrementally. When you are a visionary, your desire transcends personal pursuit and aligns with goals that impact the collective, provoking significant changes on a broader level. A powerful vision can inspire and mobilize people, creating momentum for transformations that can shape the future in extraordinary ways. We develop attitudes based on our personal preferences and aversions. We often express these preferences by saying things like, "I like this person, but I don't like that one." In our daily lives, there are certain people with whom we willingly do things, while with others, our willingness is minimal. These judgments can extend not only to people, but also to aspects of life, communities, and even nations. When we label things as good or bad, we are adopting a stance that can be detrimental to our planet, as these classifications can limit our understanding and interactions. The difference between heaven and hell can be seen in a simple way. When you do something willingly, you are living in your heaven. When you act against your will, you are experiencing your hell. This dynamic is reflected in how we experience joy or unhappiness in our lives. It is important to note that instead of labeling people as good or bad, we should recognize that a person's emotional state, joyful or unhappy, is more relevant. When we start to see ourselves as good, we end up losing the perspective needed to understand and accept the complexity of others and ourselves. This recognition helps us stay more centered and less inclined to simplistic judgments, promoting greater empathy and understanding in our daily lives. We have the right and responsibility to remove what is harmful from our lives and our surroundings. However, over time, we have caused suffering to people around us and to the world in general. This pattern of behavior must be confronted and transformed. The time has come to interrupt this practice and seek more compassionate and just ways to interact with others. Instead of perpetuating suffering, we should strive to create environments and relationships that promote well-being and harmony. True progress can only be achieved when we choose to eliminate the causes of pain and suffering and work to build a more inclusive and empathetic future. Each human being is at different stages of experience and understanding, which makes our perceptions of right and wrong extremely varied. Often we tend to judge that anyone who does not align with our own view or way of life is automatically inadequate or bad. If someone does not share the same beliefs or behaviors as we do, it is common to think that this person is somehow deficient or negative. However, this perception is based on personal and subjective decisions about what we consider good or bad. In reality, our evaluations of morality and character are shaped by our own experiences and individual values and do not represent a universal truth. Recognizing and accepting the diversity of perspectives and experiences can help cultivate greater empathy and understanding, moving away from simplistic judgment and promoting more harmonious coexistence. You do not have the right to determine who is good or bad, as this is a complex and subjective matter. When you decide that someone is a good person and another is not, you are actually feeding and reinforcing this idea in society. It is important to remember that there are no completely good or completely bad people. We all oscillate between these qualities at different times and situations. People's behavior often reflects the environment in which they are situated. If you create a positive and welcoming environment, it is more likely that those around you will behave constructively and respectfully. On the other hand, if the environment is negative and hostile, it is common for many to react poorly. Therefore, instead of judging and labeling others, it is more productive to focus on creating and maintaining an environment that encourages positive behavior and good coexistence. This approach not only helps improve social interactions, but also promotes more significant and lasting change in collective behavior. You may have become so obedient to external expectations and influences that you have lost touch with your own will. Many people ask me, "Sadhguru, how do you deal with people and the difficult questions they ask?" My answer is that my life does not revolve around others. It revolves around who I am. The behavior and choices of other people are their responsibility, not mine. What matters is how I choose to be and how I manage my own reactions. I have not given anyone the power to make me angry, happy, or unhappy. These feelings are entirely mine to manage and transform. The way I respond to situations and interactions is a personal choice, and it is through this choice that I shape my life experience. It is time for you to do the same, because allowing someone else to decide what happens within you is an extreme form of control. What happens around us may not be entirely our responsibility, but what happens within us is undoubtedly our responsibility. We must take control of our own feelings and reactions instead of letting external factors dominate us. The way we handle our emotional and mental states is a choice we have the power to make. By taking the reins of this responsibility, you gain autonomy over your own life and experiences, creating a more balanced internal space free from unwanted external influences. Nowadays, anyone can upset you because many people act involuntarily, without a true willingness to face challenges. Volunteering means being willing to do whatever is necessary with commitment and dedication. Often, people come to me saying, "Guru, I can't work with this person. They're horrible." My response is that the world is full of all kinds of people, good and bad. If you are only looking for ideal people to work with, you might as well look for a place in heaven. However, if your work is truly meaningful, it is essential to learn to deal with all types of individuals. You will find that even those who seem difficult can achieve remarkable feats and contribute in surprising ways. The search for a perfect team may be fruitless, as I have yet to find people who are completely perfect. The true challenge and growth come from learning to work with the diversity and complexity of human beings. If you are willing, you will find a way to deal with everyone around you. I often say that when you get angry with others, you are actually harming yourself. Sadhguru has some enlightening words on this. Today, medical science confirms that when you are angry, you are actually poisoning your own body. This concept, which has always been intuitively understood, is now corroborated by chemical tests that clearly show that anger produces toxins in the body. So, why would you choose to poison yourself in this way? Although it is not a conscious act, anger reflects a failure in managing the mind, which is not following your instructions. Essentially, anger is a manifestation of an uncontrolled mental state, which ends up harming your health and well-being. To avoid this, it is crucial to learn to cultivate a balanced mental state and manage your reactions more effectively. When you seek inner peace but find your mind constantly irritated and tumultuous, it indicates that your mind is not following your orders. If your mind is not obeying, it is a sign that you need to pay more attention to what is happening inside you. Ask yourself, why is your mind not obeying? This deviation may be the result of unresolved internal factors, habitual thought patterns, or accumulated tensions. To restore control and achieve peace, it is important to investigate the roots of this misalignment. Reflect on the sources of stress, worries, or internal conflicts that may be influencing your mental state. Developing greater awareness and understanding of these aspects can help redirect your mind and create a more harmonious internal environment aligned with your quest for tranquility. Understanding this dynamic means that you do not need to avoid anger as if it were something external to you. Anger is not a separate entity that you must keep away. In fact, anger arises from within you. When you get angry, this irritation is uncomfortable for both you and those around you. These moments of anger happen because you have not effectively controlled your emotions. They arise almost by chance without real control, reflecting a lack of mastery over your own emotional state. It is essential to recognize that anger is an internal response that needs to be managed and understood. By working to understand and control your emotions, you can prevent these uncontrolled reactions from interfering with your life and relationships. Developing the ability to control and transform anger is crucial for creating a more harmonious environment and maintaining a healthier internal balance. If external circumstances are favorable, you tend to feel good. If they are unfavorable, you also feel the negative impact. However, human life should not depend solely on external conditions. Ideally, if you are well internally, everything around you would become more positive. This should be the true reality. Currently, we often mold ourselves based on external conditions, but human consciousness should be able to create and shape situations instead of being shaped by them. This is a crucial aspect to understand and adjust how we live our lives in a more conscious and autonomous way. Now we would like to hear from you. How do you deal with anger and criticism in your life? Share your experiences and strategies with us. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Seeds of Mystic Wisdom. Additionally, we are curious to know which other Sadhguru topics you would like us to explore. Leave your suggestions in the comments.